Hi, Emmanuel here with T2S Transformed to Succeed. In this video, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce you to a series of video clips that I'll be sharing in the future, in the coming weeks. I'll make sure that we have something at least every other day about Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam. So the goal for this series is to provide you with hands-on videos to help you actually ace. You want to ace the Red Hat Certified System Admin exam. So we're gonna do that, but in this video specifically today, I'm gonna kind of like give you an overview of what you are required to have in terms of skill sets so that you are ready to take this exam. The first thing is that you need to master the essential tools and commands, and these include something like the redirection, standard error. That's what you see, to how to append, how to redirect an output of a command onto a file, how to use the commands grep, su, switch user, how do you compress and uncompress files, how do you set permissions as far as the octal form as well as the symbolic forms are concerned, like UGO or RWX, and how do you manipulate files and directories on a Linux operating system. So the next thing that you need to master, this is the second set of competencies that you need to ace the Red Hat Certified Systems Admin exam, is creating simple shell scripts. Also, how do you manage an operating system, a Linux operating system, in terms of boot, reboot, CPU, memory, logs, file transfer, and the list goes on. As I said at the beginning, I'm gonna share a little bit of details on each of these competencies that you need to ace your Red Hat Certified Systems Admin exam. And the next thing here that you need to master is how do you administer and manage storage on a Linux system. Here we're talking about partition zone, MBR, GPT disks, physical volumes, logical volumes, how to extend them, how to change the sizes of these volumes, and how do you mount file systems at boot, and so on and so forth. Number 4, what you'll be looking at is file system. How do you do that using VFAT, ext4, and EX and XFS systems? How do you set up that file system using these formats, and how do you use and set up NFS, which is a network file system? Then we'll talk about the logical volumes. Remember, everything that we do in this series, it's just gonna be hands-on. You master these concepts by putting your hands on the stuff, by working with me here. What's going to happen is that you're gonna ace this exam. And number five, I'm gonna need my glasses here. Number 5, what you're gonna have to master is how do you administer Linux operating systems. So we're talking about like scheduling using cron or add. How do you manage services to start at boot? How do you configure booting, time service clients, package management? How do you take care of that? System bootloader, and the list goes on. Number 6, what we'll be looking at together, it's basic networking. And this is, again, it's gonna be hands-on stuff. So I will guide you on how you can administer the basic networking approach or system on Linux. Next, we'll talk about users and groups management. How do you manage users and groups? How do you manage passwords? How do you manage, super user access configuration, and so on and so forth. Then we'll look at security. And when it comes to security, you have to think about firewall, file access control list, SSH, SE Linux. We're going to talk about that, how to set it, how to enforce it, and how to set up some policy violation procedure. We'll look at default file context, boolean, and so on and so forth. And lastly, we'll discuss containers on Linux, on a Linux system. How do you get container images from a remote registry? How do you inspect container images? How do you manage containers in general? And how do you run services in containers? Storage, we'll talk about storage when it comes to containers, and the list goes on. So that's what we'll be talking about in this specific series to help you get your certification as a Red Hat certified system administrator. For much of what we'll be doing, and because I'll be using we'll be using the command line. So I assume that you will have a virtual box or some type of box where you need to install CentOS or Red Hat 8 or 9 if you can. In my case, I'll be using CentOS, and CentOS it's kind of like a replica of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So what you do on CentOS, that's what you can do on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So it's pretty much the same stuff. So you can use CentOS to prepare for the Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam. And I'm gonna stop here, but before I go, make sure that you subscribe so that you are notified about the next videos in this specific series. And I hope to see you in the next video. God bless. You take care.